The Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein continues to hear an appeal by President Cyril Ramaphosa, who's challenging the North Gauteng High Court decision which declared the recognition of King Misuzulu kaZwelithini as King of the Zulu Nation invalid. Now we have Makgala Masiteng, who's been watching this for us. It started yesterday, of course, Makgala, continuing today. But perhaps let's just recap what happened in court yesterday.
So, Sakina, it's true, as you have indicated, we are continuing today with those proceedings. So yesterday what happened is that the president was, through his lawyer, was able to do his presentations where among his arguments was the fact that he's arguing that he has followed proper procedures in terms of recognizing King Misuzulu kaZwelithini as the king of AmaZulu, because he only did that after the whole process was completed by the family, and he also consulted with the Kokta minister. He is arguing that he did follow the Traditional Leaders Act because it doesn't really stipulate the order of that consultation. So he did consult with the minister of Kokta, who he then instructed that they must confirm with the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal in terms of whether everything was done by the book. So after that, it followed then the representation of King Misuzulu kaZwelithini, advocate Tembeka Ngoga SC, who then argued around the fact that they are not happy with the judgment of North Gauteng High Court, where they are indicating that there are some contradictions in there, where they say that the judgment does indicate that everything was done by the law in terms of the identification of King Misuzulu as the successor, but later on in that judgment they are now saying that it must be reviewed. So he was arguing in terms of the processes that followed, in terms of the meeting that led to the identification of King Misuzulu, and also mentioning that we should go deeper into what is customary law and what is the role of the royal family in the whole processes. But after that, then advocate Tabani Zulu also came to also make their arguments, of course, representing Prince Mbonisi, where they were arguing that in that meeting that led to the identification of King Misuzulu, there were no proper members, some of the critical members rather, were left out of that meeting. So it can't be said that that meeting was properly constituted, and they are demanding that everything must be started from fresh. So he will be continuing today with those arguments, and we are also expecting the representative of Prince Simagate to also be answering some of the questions. What we have noticed, Sakina, is that there were a lot of probing, especially coming from the judges here at the Supreme Court of Appeal. Of course, that I'm sure speaks to the fact that why these proceedings were then given 2 days so that they may be completed.